So over the past week, I've kind of been talking about how I define exercise, how we should set goals and find a starting point when you have migraine and you're looking to exercise, and then talking about how to avoid breaking the rule of twos, which is too much, too soon, and too often. Now it's time to actually think about building the actual plan for what you are going to do. And here's where some people get stuck. They have the goal, they kind of know what exercises to plan out and what they want to do, whether it's yoga, running, strength training, but they never decide the when, the where, and the how they're going to actually do that. And an exercise plan needs specifics. You need to ask questions like, how many days per week am I going to exercise? What type of exercise will I be doing? Resistance, aerobic? How long will my sessions be and how much can I tolerate? Where will I be doing it? At home or the gym? What equipment is available to me if I'm doing it at home? And what time of days make the most sense for me? But there's another reason that planning is so important. A plan removes the daily burden of decision making. So instead of waking up and asking, what am I going to do for exercise today? The decision's already been made in advance. So this makes it very easy to follow a plan. This is reducing mental energy, cognitive burden, decision fatigue, and it makes consistency much easier in the future. So, for example, that might say, instead of saying, I'm going to start just going for a walk, you might say, I'm going to start walking for 10 minutes after dinner on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, because my goal is to walk for 30 minutes 3 times a week. Now I don't have to think about it. Now I just go and do it on the days that I had planned. And it makes it easier to adjust when life happens then. Because life will happen. Shit will hit the fan. There'll be nights where you have poor sleep, where you're busy with work, the kids are home sick. There's a storm front rolling in and your brain's not cooperating for that, right? When you already have a plan A and you know what that looks like, it's going to make it much easier to modify it in the future, right? We can shorten the walk. We can change where we walk. Instead of outside, maybe we'll go to the gym. We can reduce the walking intensity, or we can switch to a different activity if that makes more sense, depending on what's going on. But it's harder to adapt if you didn't already have a plan, right? So again, the best exercise plans aren't ones that are perfect. They're the ones that allow consistency to follow, because that's where most of the results are coming from, consistency. So now tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit more about when life does go awry, making a plan and how to have that plan B and plan C and plan D in your pocket.